Today I'll be starting off a series about nothing but sandwiches. Y'all let me know in the comments what sandwiches y'all want to see, but today we'll start off with a crawfish grilled cheese that has a nice cheddar cheese crust on the outside. You get that nice crawfish sauce with a creamy cheese on the inside with a nice crispy crust on the outside. Best of both worlds. I'm telling y'all, it's pressure. Of course, we had to show out with the first sandwich of the series. To me, crawfish is my favorite food. So y'all, again, let me know what y'all want to see and let's get into it. So boom, we're going to start off by melting 1/4 of a cup of your favorite butter. I like to use Kerrygold. Let it melt down over medium heat, and then we're going to saute some red sweet bell peppers. I use 2 mini bell peppers, but you could also use 1/4 of a whole red bell pepper. We're going to let that saute for about 3 minutes to get nice and tender. Then you want to come with your garlic paste. Now you can use fresh minced garlic, but I just love this garlic paste. It tastes so good, and now they have roasted garlic flavor, and you can get that roasted garlic flavor without having to do the whole process of putting it in the oven and everything, so I'll take it. And you really just want to mix this up for about 30 seconds just to get it well incorporated into that butter. Now, as far as the crawfish goes, you always want to try to get Louisiana certified crawfish. It'll have Louisiana certified in the top corner or on the back. Crawfish season isn't year round, so this is our go-to. Just make sure it's not imported out of the country. A lot of restaurants will use crawfish from China or even Egypt, and you don't want that. And since the crawfish are already cooked, you really don't need to have the heat on high. You can reduce it to low and just break those crawfish up and let them get into that butter. Now, a recommendation would be to add some lemon juice in right now. You don't have to. I skipped that step this time, but it's a good addition. Now you want to come with some softened cream cheese. I like to use cream cheese spread since it's already smooth and you don't have to wait for it to soften. And I'll put all the detailed ingredients into the description so y'all enjoy the video and go check it out after so y'all can make this meal. Once our cream cheese is incorporated in, we're going to season it with some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, white pepper, and salt to taste. You really could just hit it out with your favorite Cajun seasoning to taste. Just make sure if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. Again, with all my recipes, make it to your liking, so add whatever flavors that you want. Right now, our crawfish sauce is kind of loose, so we got to do something to change that. I mixed together 1 tablespoon of water with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. This is called a slurry. This will help any sauce thicken without having to make a roux. Now we're going to go ahead and add some fresh green onion because we're healthy. Turn off your heat and just mix those green onion throughout, and you could already see how much thicker this sauce is. I actually wouldn't even call it a sauce. It's more of a filling now. We're going to take it off our stove and look at that. Yes, Lord. Now you can use whatever bread you want, but I prefer to use either sourdough or brioche. And when you get your bread, it's always best to find a loaf that's not cut. So you can basically make the slices however you want. I like it thick so I can put extra filling in the inside. So if you have a thin piece of bread, it'll kind of fall apart and be flimsy. With this, make it as thick as you want or as thin as you want. I'm going to slice it nice and thick. About 1.5 inches. So now I can really stuff some filling on there. Now, as far as the cheese goes, you can use whatever type of cheese you prefer. Today, I'll be using a mixture of Gouda, mild cheddar, and this Louisiana and lanyard cheddar cheese. It says this cheddar embodies what Louisiana tastes like in one bite. Savory and spicy with citrus notes. I'm sure it's about to be a hit. I know my voice kind of sounds like I'm on the phone right there, but my mic was acting up. But I just want to show y'all the cheeses that I used. This is my recommendation, so you can use whatever cheese you want. Now, once our grill is nice and hot, we want to butter it. You can use regular butter, but when I'm on my griddle, I like to get this right here. It's premium butter flavor oil. It's liquid already, so you don't have to wait for it to melt, and it works perfect for all of this, and it'll really sop up into that bread. Now let's get into crafting this sandwich. Sop up the bread and buku of that butter, and since this is a griddle, it'll toast up real fast. So with this whole process, you kind of got to move a little quick. Turn your bread over, let that other side toast, and then we're going to go ahead and add our cheeses. I put the Gouda on one side and then the Louisiana lanyard cheddar cheese on the other side just to give it layers of different flavors. And now that we have our cheese on there, we got to come with as much of that crawfish sauce as the Lord allows. I need all that. And this is where the perks of cutting your own bread comes in handy, because now I could add buku of this filling inside. And now that we have everything placed on the inside, we're going to go ahead and remove this whole sandwich from that direct heat. And this is where things get interesting. Shred your cheddar directly on a griddle, and this will start developing a nice crispy crust. If you're lactose intolerant, as you can tell, this recipe is not for you. I'm sorry. Now we're going to go ahead and place our toasted bread on top of the cheese. It'll basically glue itself to the cheese, and it'll get nice and crispy, and you'll have a beautiful texture on the outside with a creamy inside. Even though it's 100 and something degrees in Louisiana, this is why I love cooking on the griddle outside. And just to make sure that inside cheese melts along right at the same pace as the crust, we're going to go ahead and add a bowl on top to trap that heat. And this will give it more time to toast the other side and let that cheese melt on the inside. Now, I promise y'all this sandwich is just as good without adding this extra step for the cheese crust. But you know I'm extra, so I went ahead and did it. And it was real simple to do, so I did it. This will probably be good with some mozzarella or pepper jack or even Colby jack. I don't know. I'm going to have to try it out next time I make it. And it's so satisfying to have that spatula scrape that cheese up. It's crazy the things that impress you as you get older. And that's all you have to it. It's that simple. Y'all let me know what other sandwiches y'all want to see or any ideas that y'all have. And just like my name, y'all done.